Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time, we're going to be covering Digimon Adventure 2020, Episode 8, The Children's Siege. And, of course, I'm May, and I'm joined by Quinn and Stevie.
Hello.
Hey, we are here.
Yes.
Yay! Here and queer.
People are probably used to it.
As always.
Good combination.
Yes. So, of course, we have watched the new episode of Digimon Adventure 2020, which came out yesterday. And we have some thoughts, so I guess on to the show. Episode 8 starts off where Episode 7 ends. They are all travelling on Ikakumon, and it's nighttime now, so at least we know that there's like a day-night cycle. And there's some weird, like, digital stuff, like, throughout the sky. Like, it's kind of nice. It reminds me of, in Tamers, how there was all the digital weirdness in the sky. And we're getting that same sort of thing in this, and it's kind of cool when we get to see that digital weirdness. Then we have the best scene in any Digimon ever, which is Mimi is braiding Ikakumon's fur.
Oh, I love it so much.
I missed that. That's so cute.
It's so good.
How did you miss it? It's my highlight.
I think at the start of the episode I was having streaming issues because it just wouldn't run smoothly.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it's literally like the first shot, basically.
It's very good, and I want a friend who just sort of vaguely braids my hair while we're doing a thing. That sounds nice.
And Ikakumon, like, probably would enjoy it, because, like, I always thought of Gomamon, even though he's a seal, he's very dog-like.
He's such a good doggo.
He's such a good dog. So Ikakumon's probably enjoying it, because he probably just likes the attention. And, meanwhile, we have another pretty good part of the scene, which is, Joe is seasick, and Palmon is holding him and reassuring him and saying, oh, it'll be alright. It'll be alright. We're almost there. It's so sweet.
I didn't think we were going to do that this time around, but here we are.
No, because he seemed fine, but I guess they were on the shore last time, so that was fine. So the children see a lighthouse, and Taichi gets a call from Koshiro, who advises them of Tokyo's situation. And this is kind of all we haven't seen much Koshiro throughout the whole season. Like, we saw him in the first two episodes.
Still basically gone.
Yeah,
I thought they would have, like, all reunited by now, but I guess now we've got Yamato.
He's gotta be next
that
week.
We get Koshiro.
it's a long commute.
But if we don't, like, I'm just worried that he's just going to be in this net area being the Jedi of the series.
I think
Get to like
he's going to be
episode
around.
54 and he finally arrives.
Look, time dilation is weird, okay? I only left 20 minutes ago.
And he arrives on the back of, like, Hercules Kabuterimon, and he's like, oh, he could always evolve. What are you talking about?
Did I
And
forget
then we
to
don't
tell
get
you
any of his
guys?
evolutions. Yeah. Meanwhile, a Soundbirdmon is flying overhead, and Gabumon and most certainly Yamato are watching from afar. I guess we're not supposed to know it's Yamato, maybe, because I guess in this show we haven't seen Gabumon yet, except in the intro and I think the outro. But Gabumon's here.
Yay.
And very cute. Another good dog.
I like his voice actor as well.
Yeah. Gabumon's voice is always good, though.
That's true.
Like, my favourite thing is in the first episode of the dub of Digimon Adventure, where Tsunomon's like, hello, you look pleasant. It's very cute.
I am into Matt's just super edgy, whatever the weird thing he's wearing is, like a burlap cloak.
The cloak.
Yeah,
it reminds
cloak.
me of V-Tamer Taichi with his burlap coat.
It's just so edgy. I love it.
So
He's all
Koshiro is
edge.
keeping the... He's so much edge. He's edge of the knife. So silly jokes aside about edge knives and knife of day or whatever, the
Yes,
Ramen.
moving those aside.
ramen knife. Yeah, all of Matt's bad names aside, the teenage wolves. Why? Anyway, Koshiro advises the group that in Tokyo people are panic buying, and there's all these disasters that have occurred after the cyber attack. And immediately Joe is feeling threatened by Koshiro because Koshiro is so smart and so young, and Joe wants to be the leader of the group. And then they lose connection with Koshiro as the group begins to float through weird purple mist. And I'm like, well, I guess that's it for Koshiro. That's his this is his Tokyo update of the episode done, and now we don't get to talk to him ever again.
It does kind of feel like he's been relegated to reminding us that the stakes are back in the real world as well as in the digital world.
But it's okay because
Which is kinda sad.
Ikakumon, or not Ikakumon, Tentomon thingy.
Kabuterimon and Tentomon, yeah.
Wow. decided to try going fast. So he'll
Gotta
probably
go
be
fast.
around next week.
Also, he's still evolved. He hasn't, like, de-evolved, has he?
They
He's been
seem to be able
Kabutorimon the
to
entire time.
keep that going more or less indefinitely, because Bojimon was just like, oh, oops, I lost concentration.
But yeah, that's an interesting thing that we haven't got Kabutorimon to de-evolve yet.
Yeah, they don't seem to have the hunger restriction anymore.
Yeah. And Algamon said he stopped concentrating and he de-evolved. But I think seems that they can hold the evolution longer, which might be related to the fact that they've already reached those forms before in a previous life.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so they have less of a restriction. So because like how Tailmon was always able to be Tailmon because of all the hardships she didn't do it, maybe it's just sort of they can more or less all keep that form, but they just don't want to. Yeah. So the children see that the lighthouse is actually part of a fortress, and the lighthouse shoots the group. Joe can't swim all of a sudden, even though we saw him in the water being pushed off, like when he fell off Ikakumo at the end of the last episode, he can't swim all of a sudden.
He was blasted off of Ikakuman by a cannon, which is a bit different.
Yeah. I don't think the blast hit him, because I think that would have killed him, but it did hit around him, I guess.
It would have almost certainly knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah, good point. Ikakumon says that they have to all stay under the water, which, Ikakumon, we're going to have a problem doing that because we have lungs, and they kind of don't like to be under the water for long.
Wow.
Another
Always
beam
complaining.
targets Palmon and Mimi, but Piomon evolves to save them. And, we don't get an evolution sequence. She just sort of... It's like just literally a flash of light, which is really, really weird, because... Later on, both Agumon and Gabumon get the stock evolution.
Yeah, well, and Gabumon apparently has budget for a good one.
So that's weird.
Totally different.
Anyway, so we see Tankmon and Solomon, and I always do like to see Solomon because he's just gold Hagurumon. He's cute.
Yeah, Solomon is good. I love the lighthouse.
Yeah. So they start attacking the group, and we see Gorimon, who I originally thought that, because I forgot Tamers existed, even though I'm watching it at the moment, I forgot that Gorimon was in Tamers as well as in 02, and but I feel like we haven't seen him since Tamers, I guess. So it's kind of nice to see all these Digimon again. So
Yeah, I like bringing back some of the old favorites. I think I was having some internet trouble, but I really like the Solarmon Lighthouse.
Yeah, the Solomon Lighthouse is a nice touch.
It's cool.
Yeah. Also, I like how the Digimon are just not just attacking; they seem to have some formation going on. I know.
It's
I
a proper
appreciate
stronghold.
Yeah, it's the first time I think we've seen, like, a Digimon military that didn't involve what if we all stood in lines and shot at each other?
Which is, it's nice. They seem to actually have something going on.
I do like the
don't know.
choice of using Tankmon as tanks.
Yeah. I can't remember in Adventure when they were doing the Metal Empire City, were Tankmon in that?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But if they were, I'm fairly certain they were being tanks. But it was also very much, let's just shoot randomly because we're bad guys and that's kind of what bad guys do.
Yeah.
We can't shoot at the children,
Yeah.
but we can now, clearly. I know it's going to
So
sound
Gabumon-
bad,
Yep.
but I do like that they just shoot at the children now.
Oh, yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm advocating for Digimon who are shooting directly at the children.
Yes. TranslationMon very much advocates that people shoot at children.
Yeah, that's the new slogan of the show. So, not Agumon, Gabumon shows up to save the group, and Yamato tells the group to follow him. Then they're taken to a cave, and in the cave, the group dry off, while Taichi thanks Yamato, and is fairly happy to see him, because he's immediately calling Yamato his friend. And something I like about this scene is the show remembered that they were just underwater, and are thus needing to dry off, so they have their towels out. And I'm just really glad that we're remembering that, because I'm pretty sure in previous seasons they've gone from being under the water to being just fine, just perfectly fine and dry.
I'm gonna say there's an 80% chance that the next time this happens, they'll be fine because we won't need to have Joe raise a white flag.
Yeah, that's sad though. I mean, they could have just explained it and saying, oh, the water's not wet in the digital world like Tamers did. I did like that when Tamers said that. Breaking news, water is not wet. the group try to come up with a plan, and Yamato says that he doesn't need the dead weight, and it's more dangerous to be a group anyway. And Gabumon then, when they're running away, says that Yamato is nice because he just wants the others to be safe. But before they do leave, there's a really nice shot of Gabumon and Agumon just being friends, and it just warms my heart so much. But I still want to know how they know each other, because, like, were they just hanging out before they met their children again? Or have they just not seen each other since their past lives, and it's just sort of like a weird instinct?
That'd be interesting, yeah.
I got the impression they just hadn't seen each other since when they were in the net in the first few episodes.
I think they recognised each other in the net as well, right?
I believe that's true, but I'd have to go back and check.
Yeah, it's been a few months
I was fairly
now.
certain, because I think I noticed about them recognising each other in the net, because I remember talking about that, but yeah, I'm not 100% because it was a few months ago.
Maybe they're half-brothers.
Maybe they are half-brothers. Gabumon evolves to Garurumon with, as I said before, we get the stock animation evolution, and Joe starts to be Joe from his evolution episode in the first Digimon Adventure season, where he says, "Oh, this is too reckless," and then proceeds to do something reckless. He takes Mimi's towel and runs off, and he surrenders using the towel as a white flag, which really upsets Mimi because it's her towel, but when it gets destroyed, we later find out that it's actually Sora's towel, because Sora had that big bag of stuff earlier on. I don't know where she's pulling it from, but I guess it's related.
Yeah, but Mimi just really wanted to pretend to be a Hoopy Frood.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Mimi.
Mimi. Oh, I
Never
do
heard
enjoy
of a
Mimi.
Hoopy Frood.
Really? Oh, you've not read Hitchhiker's Guide?
I guess that's just a term I don't remember from it, because I have read it several
yeah.
times.
It's a Hoopy Frood who knows where their towel is.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a person that knows where the towel is. It's just
No.
someone that you...
Zaphod Beeblebrox is
rival.
described as being a Hoopy Frood because he knows where his towel is. It's what makes him a Frood, apparently. It's very
I thought
unclear what this
Zaphod
means.
Beeblebrox was president of the universe or something.
He is.
I'm so confused.
But he's a Hoopy Frood, like Mimi.
Okay, sure.
Maybe, but Sora's not a Hoopy Frood, and Palmon is a Hoopy Frood.
I like that the Palmon, the butler, was the one to point out that it's not even your towel.
Yeah, she's kind of sassy now. I kind of dig it, but also she does rescue Joe because Joe becomes a target
I
immediately.
mean, yeah, that was...
Of course.
That was inevitably going to happen.
Joe's the tallest
But
one.
Palmon's the best. Taichi thanks Joe because of him. He was able to get an idea about how they all have to just become a perfect target, which just sounds like Taichi is just pulling something out of nowhere. Like, we all have to be targets. We the children need to be targets of the missiles that are firing at us and trying to murder us. Yep, sounds like a good idea.
Look, the logic
Keep
goes
going.
like this. We have to do something. This is something, therefore we have to do it.
Yeah, it's better than just sitting in a cave, I guess.
I'm not
They've
sure
just
that's
been
true.
distractions.
Well, Taichi doesn't like sitting still.
That's very true. Taichi needs some
Yeah.
ADD meds.
Yeah, Taichi's like, can't sit still, must do something, must be protagonist. Meanwhile, Yamato gets to the gate of the fortress, and this is where a Dark Tyrannomon emerges, and I'm just loving all the Digimon that we're seeing in this episode. It's so great. I really like Dark Tyrannomon.
Yeah.
The whole fortress in general just reminds me of Vamdamon's castle from Adventure. I'm not sure if anyone else got that,
It has some
that
vibe
impression.
to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
It's definitely a
especially.
thing.
It's nowhere near as gothic.
Oh no, it's not gothic. It's kind of more industrial.
It's more militaristic.
Piyomon and Agumon show up to help Yamato and Garurumon, and yeah, we get Piyomon just getting a quick flash of an evolution again, which is kind of annoying because we immediately get Agumon evolving to Greymon in the stock animation.
Yeah.
So everyone has been complaining about Piyomon not getting a full evolution like everyone else, and now I'm especially feeling it. Like now I agree. I didn't before. It's the same thing as Mako and Try. Everyone was hating on her for the first 4 movies, and I was like, she's not that bad. And then in the 5th movie, I was like, oh,
Right.
the writers did her dirty.
Yeah, they really did.
I think my theory
Yes.
that Matt and Ty are going to be the best boys and get all the fancy Digivolution sequences is probably right.
Yeah, no, I feel like that too. Which I actually kind of prefer them when it's not the stock animation evolutions, where we get
It's just a
Palmon
weird,
being.
Like, it's very
Yeah.
clear where they allocated their budget, and it was to those two.
Yeah. Though I still like Palmon's evolution, and we've got,
Eh.
like, her to have a special evolution twice.
That's true. It's really only Bergermon that just apparently nobody likes.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't find out, like, really work out how to make her evolve in a flashy way. So they just kind of made her become fire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't mind it because, like, the alternative end is we get full, like, 20-second Digivolutions for all of the Digimon, and then the episodes feel 5 minutes shorter.
Yeah, I'm happy that the evolutions are shorter, but the stock animation's probably about the same length or similar in length to the original evolutions.
Give or take.
Yeah, so I still think it's an improvement that they are trimming it down.
Yeah.
If we get
Yeah,
just
it
like
doesn't have-
a couple long Digivolutions, so Agumon and Gabumon, because they're the main ones, then that's fine.
And people are complaining that it's not Braveheart, which I cannot see. Like, Be the Win is great.
Who cares? It's a new series.
I mean-
Move on.
Yeah, people, and I'm like, I like Braveheart, but it's a new series. Like, I think everyone
years
would
ago.
complain if they had the same music because they'd be like, oh, they didn't even make new music for it. Like, I'm so glad they didn't use Butterfly again because Wada Koji's been, like, dead for a couple of years, and I feel like at this point it's just sort of
Yeah.
a little bit.
If he were still around,
'Cause they
I could see just doing Butterfly and getting everything else, but at this point, just do new music.
Yeah, at this point, they're just remixing Wada Koji's Butterfly. Like, they're not really doing any new versions with new singers. It's still Wada Koji, which I guess I see the point. Like, you know, it's nice to have him in memoriam to do all these songs, but I do like when they give us new music because this is a new series and they're trying to make it not like the original series in a lot of ways, so I'm appreciating them making it different, if that makes sense. So I'm fine with the new music. Like, every week, like, I'm just seeing all these people saying, oh, I miss Braveheart, I want Braveheart back. I'm like, why? Braveheart was in Try,
We've had
Braveheart
that.
was in Kazuna.
We've had those same tracks for the past 20 years, and those episodes are still there. Just go back and watch them.
And people are also saying that this is not as good as the original series. I'm like,
They are wrong.
have you watched the original series?
Yeah, and it's
Like,
far too
recently,
early
it's
anyway to make that presumption.
I feel like
yeah. I mean, like, so far it is better.
the worst comparison you can make is that this is only as good, because by this point we're like, in original Adventure, we're like 8 episodes into just one evolution, one monster of the week, no plot.
Yeah, we're getting tons of monsters per week in this show.
True.
We had like
Sometimes
4.
we murder them.
And also, I think people are forgetting that the first episode of Digimon Adventure had us learn the names of like 20 characters.
The first episode of Adventure's trash.
Yeah, it's so
I love
boring.
it, but
Like,
it's trash.
Yeah, I love it because it's nostalgia, but I have to take the nostalgia goggles off and see that it is very boring. The animation is obviously from the late 90s, in which they're just kind of standing there and their mouths are moving.
There's that, and just, yeah, there's 8 kids and 8 Digimon, and the Digimon evolve. That's
Yeah,
24
like,
names.
spoiler alert.
Plus the enemies.
Yeah.
Just
And yeah, in Kuwagamon, and then they fall off the cliff and die. Spoiler alert! I recently watched the episode with Brady, and then I watched the first episode of this season again, just to compare the first episodes and that was for our Odaiba Day special. So I'm kind of like just thinking about like the new episode's so much better, like the new season, because of course it has to be, like, it should be better. They should look at the original and say, let's make this better, and they did. You don't meet 20 characters, and yeah, and Be the Winner's great. You all are just have your nostalgia goggles on too tight, take them off and put them on your head like everyone else puts goggles, and just listen to Be the Winners. It goes really well. It is hype every time it drops, which is what an evolution song is meant to be. Y'all are just nostalgic. I like it. I love the opening too. It gets every week after doing the podcast. It will be stuck in my head until I watch the episode for the next week.
It's real good.
Because it's great. It's hype. And the ending song is also hype. It's a bit weirdly shoujo, but that's okay. Yamato can be a shoujo princess if he wants to.
Yeah. Also,
Anyway,
I noticed
back
Mimi's
to the
hair
synopsis.
This week. Mimi has really good hair.
Mimi is the best.
Anyway,
very
And
important.
I will die for her.
Part
I
of the
wanted to
plot
throw
there.
that in.
Yeah, like every week, even if for some reason Mimi's not in an episode, she'll be the best because she's so good. I love her. But at the same time, she's still quite girly in the way, like, she was still braiding the hair, she was still kind of a little bit
She's so good.
weird about
She's
the towel,
the
which
best
wasn't even
queen.
hers. Yeah, she is. She's a Yas queen, as the kids would say. Anyway, back to the plot. Yamato see the team fighting and running for their life for him, and that activates his crest of friendship, and I was so certain we were going to get a perfect evolution, and I would have been absolutely actually on board for a perfect evolution here. Like, I don't know why. It's just, I'd be happy with an evolution here, and I was kind of surprised they didn't go this way. I'm not sure if anyone else had that feeling, but I wanted, like, it would have been early, but I feel like it would have been warranted because we haven't seen what Yamato's been doing. Yamato's kind of just been there and around, so he probably developed him in his own way, and it's fine to have his...
I see where you're coming from now.
I think it would have been a bit too early.
Oh yeah, it's definitely too early, but I think I would have preferred if we had the perfect evolution here. But it is nice to see a crest activate, but it felt kind of... The crest activation seemed to only make him go very fast.
It was a power surge
He turned
instead
into
of a
blue.
voltage
he
evolution.
glowed blue.
Look,
Like, I've
he
never...
looked longingly
He glowed
into
blue,
Ty's
dabba-dee, dabba-die.
eyes. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
They're
I
friends.
mean, it's kind of weird that we're getting the crest activations seem to be a lot earlier on. Like, they already have their crests when they evolve to
Which is definitely good.
to champion.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of on board for, because that means we don't get a crest, like, collection arc, which means we don't need to find the tags, which was probably the worst episode of Digimon Adventure, where they just go find the tags, because it could have just been easily
They go to the
attached onto another.
they go to the convenience store and pick up a box of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, for the plot convenience store.
that is the title of the Modcast episode.
Yeah, it is. I was like, that's a good
That's a
title.
real good
'cause
title.
It's
I
true.
did not know that. That's great.
And, like, the writers did Digimon dirty, because Digimon the best, and that was his episode. And I was so sad, because I grew up on Digimon World, and I was like, oh, that's kind of terrible.
Yeah,
I love Digimon and Digimon World.
I am shocked.
His like finishing move is so good.
Yeah, I just like Digimon. He's a soft little friend.
For those keeping score at home, I was personally shocked that there has not been an uptick in Digimon Rule 34 since last week.
Yeah, why? I ask why, but I know exactly why, but also, why?
No, what's weird is that didn't happen.
I know, but yeah, I guess we haven't seen Digimon, but, like, I don't know, I don't really look at a lot of Rule 34 for Digimon.
Can't say that I do much either, but I'm aware of it.
It hurts my childhood. But, I mean, then we have, like, the Digimon card game, which has weirdly sexualized Beelzemon, which just looks like it's his grinder profile, and I'm so proud of him for getting out there.
That is great.
But
I'm
It's a little bit... It's highlighting the lower part a bit too much for me, though.
I'm just gonna point out that Rosemon existed in Tri.
Yeah.
Jiggle physics.
Colin 2020.
Yeah. Can't wait for Rosemon. Hope it's not like that. Maybe someone can tell the animation staff how breasts work by then, hopefully. Anyway, back to the synopsis. So, after the fight, Mimi wipes away some dirt from Gabumon's face, and she thanks Yamato for saving them, and Yamato's kind of, like, not looking at her and just looking to the side while he talks, and he says that he feels like he was the one that was saved, and it feels so, like, nice. Like, he's not a jerk, he's just really shy. And I think I made a comment in the Discord channel, like, it's just me, it was like Yamato slightly, like, neurodivergent this time.
I could be.
Like, I mean, I'm not, but I just get that. So I'm not really probably the best person to judge because I have no experience with the matter. But that just seemed kind of neurodivergent, and I'm kind of here for that.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see
Like, what if
we do anything else with slightly shy Matt.
I mean, it is nicer that he's not a jerk and he's kind of just really shy. Because I'm pretty sure other Yamato was like, whatever, you were just in my way or something, or just ignore them because that's what he would do, because old Yamato was kind of a
Old
jerk.
Yamato
But
would have
this
left
seems...
the group after this. We wouldn't have come back for 4 more episodes.
Yeah, or he would have just disappeared into the edge. But this Yamato, I like this Yamato. I'm all for him.
He's pretty good.
And so then they're inside the fortress and they find some weird laboratory, and Yamato wonders if there's some record of communication. Taichi approaches another weird slab with the Digimoji on it, and he pulls out his Digivice to see if he can read it. He reaches towards the slab, and Taichi just says it's about the Holy Digimon. He doesn't actually tell us what's on there, he just says, oh, it's about the Holy Digimon.
Oh.
And the episode ends because maybe we'll find out what Digimon, what about the Holy Digimon it says, or maybe that's it. Maybe we just know that it's about the Holy Digimon.
Or it just starts next episode and Tad's like, but I can't read it.
Yeah, I was just assuming. You guys thought I could read it? I was just guessing the whole time.
No,
That would be the biggest
what do you
swerve.
think? What? I thought we came to this continent for, I don't know, other... You believed me? What the heck?
So now we can discuss the episode. What were your highlights?
Mimi, just throwing out
Mimi?
there.
Yeah, Mimi's... My highlight was probably Palmon, like, in general, just being great this episode.
Palmon's pretty great.
And, yeah, and seems to actually have a character outside of just being Mimi's partner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always here for that. Stevie, highlights or also Mimi?
There's so much just like pressure in that almost to be like also say Mimi Stevie.
Yeah.
But no, I don't say Mimi. I refuse.
Really? What were your highlights then?
Okay. I'm regressing back to when I was like 10 and Matt was my favourite. Just because of
That's
Wolf.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it should sort of make you feel, where when you're watching this sort of show, it should make you regress to when you were watching the show for the first time in a sort of nice way, not in a sort of salty, like, oh, the original was better. Like, in a sort of nice way. Like, when I first watched Atmon, it gave me that same sort of feeling of regressing back to you are a kid watching this show for the first time. And it has that sort of nice nice sort of nostalgic, comfortable feeling.
I like
And I
Blue
think this
Wolves.
show does that well. Yeah, and also Blue Wolves, yeah.
That's it. It's a blue wolf. It breathes fire. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's
Gabumon's good as well.
Gabumon is good. Garurumon is good. Matt is okay.
I like Matt. He's
I like
he's
Matt.
doing
I
well
like
so
Matt
far.
this time.
I reckon
Yeah.
he's probably distracted and concerned about TK because he was asking about how Tokyo was.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of wish we knew more about what TK was doing, because we've seen Hikari in the last episode about what she's doing, but we haven't seen
Only in the intro.
what
and-
TK's doing.
Yeah, like almost not at all.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to be finding out about what TK and Kari's like involvement is, like where Ophanimon and Serafimon are, or
Not for
do you think
a
that's going to
while.
happen soon?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I might have believed it if Koshiro were back this episode, which I thought he would be. But instead, we're gonna keep on flying him in for a bit, and then I think it'll be at least episode 12 before we get to either one of the other kids.
I think my guess was 13,
Yeah.
if I remember right.
Yeah, I'm going to say 13, because that was when, like, that was the end of the first arc in the original
Makes
series.
sense.
The Legend of the Digidestined.
A quarter of the way through
Yeah.
the series, if we're using the same general notation or the same general pattern.
Yeah, so I think that he's either going to show up in episode 12, or it's going to be episode 13 or something, or the end of episode 12 or 13. I'd be surprised it was before then, honestly, but we haven't really seen any teasing of it. We might even not see Hikari until the second, like further into the second arc, or third arc rather, if we're following the same pattern. But no, I'm kind of liking the focus on just a few of the kids and not all 8 of them, because it just makes it the interactions between both Digimon and their human partners, and the Digimon and other human partners, and also the human partners themselves. It's just nice to be able to focus on those relationships without having them all 8 of them together, because I feel like that's when you really sort of lose the lose track of a lot of the relationships, or you lose focus, or the characters just don't have enough time to interact. So I'm fine with it being just a small section of the group. However, I feel weird that it's still just Koshiro flying on a beetle on the internet. Like, that's kind of just where he is, and it feels like he hasn't really had much of a story. He's just kind of there, and I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen another Koshiro episode, which is just sort of him flying through space doing things, or at least half an episode where we see what he's doing. It's just an update every every episode on how Tokyo's doing, and that makes sense. It is good that they want to know the stakes and how their home is doing, but
there's no real reason he
just
couldn't do
feels
that
weird.
from the digital world and just be like, yeah, my laptop is still hooked up to the whatever.
Yeah, it feels weird, and I mean, I like Koshiro, but I can't imagine, like, I feel like people would be pretty mad if Koshiro is their favourite character, and this is all we're seeing of him.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Mimi was still on the beach and she's just sitting there.
Right.
Like, I'd be so annoyed if Mimi was just on the beach. Like, it was cute when she did that for half a second, but, like,
Yeah, I do think that he'll be back soon, if only to, like, have the main group for this arc together. But it is weird how they've just sidelined him for 5-ish episodes.
I want
I think
Kobe
he's going to be back next episode.
Probably.
Or at least an episode or two away.
just because it'd be funny, I'd like Kobuterimon to smash through the wall straight through the thing that Ty's about to read.
Yeah, like, I can see that. Like, this place looks kind of weirdly digital.
I wouldn't be that shocked if Ty doing the thing opened a portal that caused him to show up. But yeah,
Yeah,
if we're going to
maybe.
go digital, just completely digital, I really feel like we need Koshiro to show up.
Also, in a couple of episodes, we'll know whether or not Jedi is showing up this time, I guess. I think he showed up in, like, the end of episode 13, was it?
Give or take.
Or the
Yeah,
start of
yeah,
episode
he had to
14?
tell them they
It's the
fulfilled
end
the
of
prophecy.
13.
Yeah. So, I guess we find out if Jedi's there or if Koshiro is just the Jedi for the season.
So far, we've just had these ruin quest markers instead.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
done the same job. Better,
Yeah.
probably. Because it's
Yeah,
given the
yeah.
prophecy in advance.
Quest markers don't lick people.
Yeah, that was creepy. Maybe he's just been banished because of that. Like, that's fine. So, any other highlights?
I was kind of
No
into
highlights?
Matt's just random flashback of all of the characters he barely knows.
Yeah, but that's so Digimon on point.
It
Like,
was
oh,
cute,
we just
and
met
I was
the
into it, but
emotions. I think it was more so the fact that he saw them working together. Like, I don't think it was explicitly his feelings of friendship. I think he just saw them working together and their feelings of friendship, and he understood that that was friendship.
that's fair.
And he just saw what they were doing together as teamwork. So I feel like maybe his crest activated more as the crest of teamwork, or just seeing their friendship, and he was inspired by that. I don't think it was explicitly his feelings, like of like, oh, these are my friends already.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
With except Ty,
yeah, he was just like, oh, we're all
who-
working together.
There
and
was a bit more than friendship
yeah.
there, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. I loved it. Any other highlights? Because I think Yamato's great.
I like it when the kids come under fire from heavy weaponry.
Yeah, when they're actually in danger, it makes it feel a lot more real and, it's
Yeah,
good
it's-
when they're actually in danger.
Yeah, the villains would attack the kids.
Yeah,
Why
because,
wouldn't they?
like, the evolution batteries, like, yeah, we definitely want to kill the kids. And that didn't really happen so much in the original. Like, the kid would be just standing there, and the Digimon would go for the other Digimon?
Pretty much,
For some
yeah,
reason?
always.
Yeah.
All right, now who
Instead,
murdered
now
better?
the Digimon partner has to get in the way and like block the
Yeah.
attacks, and it's
Yeah.
good.
Who murdered
Any
Goemon
other
better?
highlights?
Terriermon or
Oh,
Gabu-
as in for
or Garurumon?
Terriermon?
Yeah,
Terriermon.
Terriermon.
Oh, they're
Terriermon.
both good dogs.
They really did both did nice jobs, but I liked Terriermon's murder better.
I love Terriermon in general. Terriermon's the best.
I'd have to see the episode again to really judge it,
That's fair.
because it's been a
Have
while.
them side by side.
Early Terriermon
shot by
just
shot.
being a complete murder hobo who doesn't feel bad about anything is kind of amazing.
Yeah, because, well, his name is Terrier, so he's clearly inspired by a terrier breed of dog, and he definitely has that personality. As an owner of a Jack Russell Terrier cross, that is, Terriermon is my dog. He's full of so much, like, it's not anger, it's just, I want to ruin things. I have so much energy, but I'm in this tiny little body. Oh god, can somebody turn my arms into little guns? Like, that's
You
just,
must be a terrible tamer.
that's a mood for my dog. He's just like, I am small, but I will fight. And I wish I was bigger, because then I would fight even more. I have so much fighting power. I just want to fight. Because he's small.
Now I'm just imagining
any
your dog,
other
except
highlights?
bigger and with guns strapped to two of his legs.
And pants.
Yeah, and pants.
Don't
We
forget
forgot
about
the
pants. Has to wear pants. He has to wear pants. It's a rule.
You should get pants for Langley.
Yeah, you can. You can get like the little one, the one that looks like you've got like a like a person riding on the top, and it just goes flop, flop, flop when they run. And just I can go up the road literally right now to the 24-hour Kmart and just grab that because they have the best dog clothes ever at the Kmart. It's just, wow, I love Kmart.
I didn't know Kmart still existed.
Australian Kmart, obviously, not whatever America had, which was like these post-apocalyptic warehouses from what I've seen on the internet.
Pretty much, yeah. I think
Kmart here is fancy, and I live in a 24-hour one, and like that's pretty cool. Mind you, I'm always asleep during those 24-hour hours where I will be going to Kmart, but like I don't think I want to see the people who go to Kmart at like 3 a.m. I don't want to see anyone at 3 a.m.
I mean, I can think of a few.
Right, let's
people
move on
at,
to
like,
lowlights
3
because I'm
in the
fairly
morning.
certain that my stomach is being picked up by Audacity. Because my stomach is very audacious.
The
So, lowlights.
Yes, the Beomon Snap evolution. It was
Yeah,
cool,
that was one
but
of my
it's just kind
lowlights.
of weird.
It is. If all the evolutions were like that, I wouldn't have a problem. But because we've seen Palmon evolve normally to Togemon with a cool, like, even her shorter magical girl evolution. But I was originally fine with just the Beomon evolving with fire because it kind of made sense. But just comparing it with everything else since, every episode, it just seems like we're getting less of the evolution. And mind you, Palmon still evolved to Togemon in this episode, but that was skipped. But that was because the focus wasn't on her, so that just evolved while we were having plot somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's weird that Beomon's just evolving with a flash, like when she's the focus.
Yeah.
Like
Every time.
Gubblemon could have had a short evolution because it's his first like on-screen evolution, and usually those are just different ones. They're not the stock footage ones. Or we could have just skipped Agumon's evolution and just had Greymon appear, like because when he was
really
off-screen,
didn't
he
need-
evolved.
Yeah, Greymon in particular, like, we've seen every episode. We don't need that every time.
Yeah, we don't need that. I'd be fine with just a quick flash of him having an evolution, but it felt so weird that we aren't having Beomon's evolution. And as I said, I was previously fine with it because, okay, Ogumon's is the only one with an evolution, but everyone else is still getting somewhat animated evolutions. Beomon just hasn't really evolved on screen. And then we had Beomon evolving on screen, and it was just literally just a flash on the screen, and she was Bergermon, which felt like something was missing. It felt like there should have been a clip there, and maybe there was meant to be a clip there, but because of COVID, they weren't able to animate the whole that whole chunk there, so they just didn't use it. They just had a blank. Maybe that is possible.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it's a...
For the audience, it just seems like a weird choice. Like, it doesn't... I don't want this to be the Tai and Yamato show. I know we kind of get that from the opening and ending, where the opening is just Tai and the ending is just primarily Yamato. And I don't really want the Tai and Yamato show because we got that in Kizuna. We got that in basically all of Adventure. We got that in our war game where it was just the Tai and Yamato show. And I know that they're like the main characters, but surely it's time to not have them be the main focus and still have them as the most main characters. Have them as the Naruto and Sasuke, that sort of red oni, blue oni sort of like trope. That's fine. But you have other characters, and previously they've been pretty good with the other characters, but sometimes I'm just a little bit worried that, oh boy, it's just their show again. Great.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like that's the direction we're going, and that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, and if they continue to go in that direction, I don't think I'll be enjoying I'll probably still say this season will be better than the 1999 version of Adventure, because of course it is. They've just improved it because it's been 20 years, but...
Not up to its potential.
It won't be up to the Atmon, Tamers, even Savers sort of level of great season. It'll probably still be above Frontier because at least the other characters are doing something. At least Mimi got to be the focus of her evolution episode, so it'll still be like an okay season. And as I said, it'll be better than the original Adventure, most likely. But it won't be as good as Atmon, which is how I'm watching this, and I'm like, so far this has been as good, maybe even better than Atmon, but I'm not feeling as confident as I have in previous weeks because I don't need another the edgy kid and the goal boy are the main characters of the show and everyone else is just there. But my main low light is that something, and I can't really put my finger on it, but something in this episode in general just felt a little bit lackluster. And I'm not sure if I mean, from what I saw on Twitter, everyone loved this episode. Everyone thought this episode was really good, but I felt that it was just a little bit lackluster. It felt like it was just fighting, but not much else. Like, all the actual plot seemed to only happen in the space of a couple of minutes, and while I enjoyed to see Yamato not being a jerk, it was still kind of, I don't know, something just felt kind of off. And, yeah, I felt like nothing happened, basically. Like, they got to the fortress, but that could have been done in 5 minutes, and it was just random fighting. But it was still better than a lot of the random fighting we've seen in previous seasons, obviously, but yeah, it just felt lackluster for some reason for me. I'm not sure if anyone else got that opinion. It might just be me.
No, I kind of had that, and it's a nitpick, but why did we need to land at the only defended location on the horizon? We could just go somewhere else. It's real easy.
Yeah, I don't know why they seem to say, okay, this is absolutely where we need to stop. Like, Ikakumon could have stopped at any other point of the island, or the continent rather, but chose to stop where the bad guys were trying to murder them? Like, move around. It's a very small, like, fortress.
The ocean is big.
You don't know yeah, and they didn't get any, exposition or any explanation or anything that says, okay, you have to go into that fortress. They didn't know the information was there. They just kind of took a very dangerous, risky guess that it was there. I don't know why they decided to go there. Just, it seemed weird. It seemed a weird choice for the kids to go, certain death? That must be where the plot is, because, I mean, of course it is. We're playing video games. You go towards where all the enemies are. But generally, in life, you would kind of want to go around the bad guys who want to kill you. Yeah.
I think all it really needed was a line from Yamato along the lines of, there are mountains either side that you can't get past, or something like that. Or
anyone questioning it, and then, or it doesn't have to be Yamato, because Yamato sort of came in when they were already kind of there. Like, maybe have Birdramon evolve. There's an idea. Biyomon actually have an evolution. And have her, like, look around the area and, like, yeah, the only way is directly through the fortress. And I'm fairly certain that didn't happen, but it could have. Any other lowlights? No?
No. Not really.
All right. What about this episode compared to the characters or anything in the original series?
Well, it's not introduced the big bad.
Yeah, I was a little surprised we didn't do that.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't get, like, another shot of Devimon. Like, we've already previously had a shot of him, but we didn't get another one, which was kind of surprising.
For that matter, I was a little surprised by no Ogremon this time, but that was okay.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get Ogremon last episode either, because he's still mourning the loss of his horn.
That's true.
I wonder if it's actually going to be still without a horn in next week's episode.
I would think so, yeah.
I hope so, because he made a big deal about it. And also no Leomon. I'm pretty sure did we see Leomon?
I don't think so.
This time last season? In the original series?
Yeah, we met Leomon, like, in this episode.
Yeah, hereabouts.
Yeah.
We didn't have to
Do you
deal
think
with
we're
an
going to
extra
have
bed.
Leomon?
Oh, no. Yeah, we'd seen Leomon and Ogremon fighting already, and Leomon got possessed.
Yeah, I would be surprised
episode.
if we don't meet Leomon relatively soon, but, you know, he also might have a blink and you miss it death. Who knows?
Do you know what I'd really like?
He already dead?
Yeah, what I'd really like is just Ogremon to say, I'll kill you like I killed Leomon. Off screen.
Okay, if Leomon doesn't show up and we do get a dub, I feel like that'd be the perfect dub edition line, because I'm all for the dub having those dumb, like, little
I'd be down for that, yeah.
But I'm all for that. Like, Leomon never shows up, but the dub does add in that line. Like, please do that.
That being said, I want my Ogremon death. Excuse me, my Leomon death. I deserve.
Yeah, I want my Ogremon sort of like semi-redemption, but also he's still a virus type, so he's still like, but I'm still kind of bad because I'm a virus type.
I enjoyed Bancho Ogremon.
Yeah,
he was
big
good.
fan of that.
Yeah.
Are we done with comparisons?
I think so. This was maybe the most significantly different from the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely, like, the most significantly different.
And also Yamato just being nice in general, like just being shy, not a jerk. I'm all for that character change.
Well, it's different discounting the first, like, 2 to 3 episodes, which were just logging.
And we can move on to favourite characters. So who are your favourite characters? We'll go with Stevie first, because that's just how my my spreadsheet where I'm logging this
just
is
how
kept.
you roll.
I have to choose. choosing is hard. Um,
I'm surprised you didn't just say Garurumon off the bat, to be honest.
I do like Garurumon, but he wasn't like that important in this episode. Really, it was more Matt, or like the team as a whole, really.
Yeah, but you can't choose the entire team.
I know, that's why it's hard. I'll go with Joe. I enjoyed Joe this episode.
Quinn?
I do want to give a good mention to Trying to Surrender, which is just extremely Joe's energy.
Yeah,
that is so Joe.
It was so funny. But while also wanting to be the leader.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to give it to Garurumon. He did a good job.
That's fair. I picked Palmon because
I wanted to be
Palmon's
different and not
so
say Palmon.
Yeah, well, you saw the future and it was me picking Palmon or Mimi, because of course it was. But yeah, definitely Palmon. Like, Palmon seems to... And I've always said that I really do appreciate when we have interactions between Digimon and the human that's not their partner. And we kind of got that with her and Joe, and it was kind of nice to see, because Original Adventure didn't really have those interactions. And especially when we had, like, the sort of almost partner switch, how Mimi was braiding a Kakumon's fur while Palmon was with Joe. I really like that. We've not seen that combination, and I'm all for it. Big fan. But yeah, so I had to pick Palmon. It's probably not surprising to anyone that I would pick Palmon, but I did. Also, Butler Palmon is just the best, and she's kind of a little bit sassy. What about the rating for this episode, Stevie?
I'll give it... You know what, I'll go as high as a 4.
That's fair. Quinn?
I'm going to do maybe a 3.5.
Yeah, that's fair. I jumped from like a 2.5 to a 3.5, and I think I sat on a 3 for a bit, but I'm going to have to give it a 3.5, primarily because of where I put it on my ranking, which I guess we'll get to now. How would y'all rank this episode with the other seasons? I sent you through your previous rankings in the Discord chat earlier, because I actually remembered to this time. But first we'll go with Stevie's ranking, which is from best to worst. Episode 1, Tokyo Digital Crisis. Episode 6, The Targeted Kingdom. Episode 2, War Game. Episode 7, That Man, Joe Kido. Episode 3, Enter the Digital World. Episode 5, The Holy Digimon. And Episode 4, in last place, Bergermon Soars. Where would this episode go?
I'd probably put it just below the Targeted Kingdom, so like 3rd place. Cool. I think the battles are the thing I'm most enjoying about this new series, because there's just so much more depth to them.
Like, my overall, like, sort of weird lackluster feeling aside, like, the battle was a lot better than anything we've had in previous Digimon seasons, because we actually had some tactics, we actually had some thoughts going through. It wasn't just, hey, who can attack with the bigger attack?
Yeah.
It was teamwork, it was Garurumon getting friendship speedness, but the battles are good. Quinn, your current ranking is Episode 6, The Targeted Kingdom, Episode 1, Tokyo Digital Crisis, Episode 7, The Man, Joe Kido, Episode 5, The Holy Digimon, Episode 2, War Game, Episode 3, Enter the Digital World, and in last place, Episode 4, Bergermon Soars. Where are we putting Episode 8, The Children's Siege?
I am going to put it in 3rd place, which puts me, leaves me 6, 1, 3, 7, 5, 2, 3, 4. It's fine. Yep. It was very average.
Yeah, but it's fine, but you put it in 3rd place.
Yeah, very average. 3rd of 8.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, you're right. That is average. You're right. As for me, keep in mind that I've also enjoyed the previous episodes more than Stevie and Quinn. So my ranking, including Episode 8, is from best to worst. Episode 6, The Targeted Kingdom. Episode 5, The Holy Digimon. Episode 1, Tokyo Digital Crisis. Episode 7, The Man, Joe Kido. Episode 4, Bergermon Soars. Episode 2, War Game. Episode 8, The Children's Siege. And Episode 3, Enter the Digital World. So it's in 2nd to last place for me.
Oof. With a 3.5 as well.
Yeah, like, because I've given, like... Episode 3 was a 3 for me, and Episode 2 was a 3.8. So
I know this will be new information.
2.8.
Second to last place.
Really likes Digimon and gives it good ratings.
Yeah, I really like it. But as I said, I was kind of jumping between giving it like a 2 and the 3.5 that I gave it But then I looked at my ratings and I was like, well, I can't just call myself a liar. I can't just say, okay, it's a 2, but it is higher in the chart. No, I'm going to put it in there because that's where I want it to be. But I'm kind of glad that we have more or less different rankings.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big fan of that. I think we can all agree that episode 1 and episode 6 were both pretty good, though.
That's true.
Like, that's basically our primary agreement in watching the show. But yeah, so that's the ranking. And next we will answer and read out some comments and questions.
Yeah.
So first of all, and I actually wrote them down prior to the episode this time, so I don't have to just sort of have a million tabs up. So well done me. First, we have Panda Hank on Twitter, who says, and pointing out a mistake that I made, just want to point out that Goemon's VA is actually Kid Naruto, and Taichi's new VA is Boruto. So that's where I got the Boruto thing. Like, somebody definitely did say that Goemon was Boruto. I love burritos. But, no. So that's the truth. Goemon's VA is Naruto, and Taichi's VA is Boruto. My joke still stands that I made last episode.
Taichi is Goemon's son.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was going to go with Gomamon is Taichi's dad.
That works too. Then I messed up. I didn't put in Chakmon's post from With the Will regarding episode 5 in because I'm terrible. So I forgot to put it in the previous weeks as well because I'm terrible.
Nice.
So I put it in here because I actually remembered this time. I tattooed it on my forehead so I would remember.
Nice.
I just went to the mirror when I was playing Pokemon Smile and I saw it and I was like, yep, time to read it. And so Chuckmon says, pretty good Koshiro episodes. Cool to see a fight with just Koshiro and Kabuterimon. Favourite scene is Koshiro being unfazed by sitting in a Digimon's stomach. And yeah, that's pretty on brand for Koshiro. Next, Chuckmon says that they're also annoyed that Han, as in Koshiro Han, is changed to San in the subtitles. And yeah, me too, I'm just kind of like, that's a weird choice.
Yeah.
Chuckmon's wondering how they'll do episode 8. Well, I guess we'll find out now. We have now found out. Which in the original show was Devimon's debut. And overall liking how each of the kids has their own entry into the digital world. And yeah, me too. And then says that Soundbirdmon was a Cross Wars design winner and only showed up in a Hunters episode, so it's nice to see Soundbirdmon again. And yeah, I agree. I like when we see the contest design winners actually in the show. It just sort of makes them feel special. And I wonder, that kid's probably like, if they were a kid when then Hunters came out, or when Cross Wars came out, they're probably a teenager now, so I really hope they're watching this, and I really hope they're so happy. Like, that would just make my day if, like, I designed a Digimon when I was a kid, and it showed up once, and then it came back, like, 10 years later? Like,
that would be really
that's
cool,
great.
yeah.
Then we have Luke on the website saying that they really liked Joe's characterization in the series, and that they teach kids in Japan, and it felt all too real. And they hope that the series goes on, he'll learn to take life a little easier, and some real kids will be watching. And yeah, I agree, like, it did feel, even like kids in Australia, like, he did feel a lot more realistic, and to bring up those difficulties and stresses that he has, like, he feels like he's already put up against other kids his age, and even kids that are younger, and he has rivals. And it's sad, but it's kind of realistic, and it's nice to see that. Next, we have RAGDP on YouTube, who is liking how there's strategies to battles, and yeah, I agree, and asks us a question of, do you think old villains will appear?
No way. We've never seen Ogremon before.
No, I mean, like, I mean, like, other old villains, like
Devimon. What if Devimon made an appearance?
Yeah, I'd like to see Edamon again.
I
think we'll see quite a few.
Yeah, I think we'll get... I would be surprised if we didn't get the Dark Masters, and I wouldn't exactly be shocked if somehow they were the same Dark Masters from Adventure.
Yeah, I hope we don't get a Pokemon, because I think I'm done with a Pokemon.
I don't know. I want to hear some jokes about getting bread crusts.
Yeah, in the dub, yeah. Or maybe just in the original, they'll just do a reference to the dub, because they have done that before, sort of.
I feel like they'd have to work really hard to get that in there.
Yeah, like he's just eating pizza, he just really likes pizza. Like, what if that's just a sort of, like, weird thing that he does in character? Like, I'd be for that, actually.
He's eating a pizza and the topping is crusts.
That's funny. Somebody draw that. Anyway, our Our last comment is from Alpha Miragi on YouTube, who says, at least they didn't stale meme it up and call the episode Dat Boy Joe Cadeau. Yeah.
Yes! I need to draw Joe on a unicycle.
Yeah, or like, I know that it's Dat Boy Joe Cadeau, not Dat Boy Gomamon, but for some reason, I feel that Gomamon fits better on the unicycle, but also, yeah, I don't know. It did sort of go through my mind of, Dat Boy.
Yeah.
Dat Boy.
Dat Boy Joe Cadeau.
It's Dat Boy.
Dat Boy.
Can someone please draw me a picture of Apocalypse on the phone trying to order a pizza?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
I have too much to draw.
What do you mean?
Not enough time.
Sell crust.
What do you mean you don't deliver to the dark void at the center of the digital world?
It's been there the entire time.
But you're the
I know there's a
restaurant
wall
at
of
the
fire
end
in
of
the way,
universe.
but still.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll be back next week for episode 9. In the English subtitles said that the episode's called The Ultimate Digimon Attacks, but it's just sort of the perfect attacks. So do we have any predictions besides the obvious, a perfect Digimon will attack?
We might get Metal Greymon.
It's gonna be Imperial Dramon because he's the strongest Digimon.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get a perfect next episode. I feel like it would be the episode after or the end of this episode because that just feels like it's on point for Digimon.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I could see them getting
I don't know.
beaten by a perfect and then have to figure out that, oh, wait, there's more evolving to do. Here we go. Whoa.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're like losing the fight and then Koshiro finally joins the team
That'd
and
be kind
arrives,
of great.
and then they are strong enough.
Who do you think will be the first evolution to perfect? Do you think it'll be Greymon?
Yeah, it's gotta be Metal Greymon.
Yeah. Metal Greymon.
They're not gonna
like
back off
when they-
from making it the Tai show right now.
Yeah, but I like how Garurumon already might have evolved to Garurumon prior to Agumon evolving
That's
to
true.
Greymon. Because I like when they have characters that are a step ahead of the Goggle Kid. Like, Tamers did that when both the characters could already evolve to adult by the time he could. It's kind of nice when it goes out of the pattern that you'd expect. But, yeah, I mean, I know that a perfect Digimon will attack because it's on in the title, and I don't think we're going to be getting an evolution in this episode, and if we do, it'll be at the end of the episode because that's how Digimon be.
Yeah, I could see a cliffhanger evolution.
Yeah. Any other predictions?
If we are lucky, we will get a body horror evolution out of it.
Yes, and if it is Metal Garurumon, if it is Metal Greymon, it will be because the opening shows such a weird body horror evolution that seems to be happening, where it's just sort of metal coming off Greymon, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to be getting Skull Greymon this time, or do you think Skull Greymon now?
Oh, that'd be fucking rad, but I don't expect it.
I don't think we'll see Skull Greymon for a while anyway.
No.
Because at
Yeah,
the
I
moment,
can see it
Ty doesn't really have
happening.
anything to be conflicted about because he's not in a leader position or anything yet. He's just good boy. I'm friends with everyone.
Yeah, Tai really has no problems that are not caused by the blackouts.
Yeah, and he's just generally worried about his family, which is reasonable. Are we all ready to wrap up, or do we have any thoughts? Any other thoughts in general?
No,
don't
I think I'm out of thoughts.
Okay, then we can wrap up. So the link dump's linked in the description, and our Redbubble's also linked in the description, and you can get more than just shirts there too. I've been doing some weird little drawings, and I've actually added to the Redbubble, so that's been updated. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslation. I can never talk. Email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com. You can follow us at Again, I can't talk. You can follow us at TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and you can also follow the Moncast on Twitter as well. We have a discussion thread on With the Will and a red thread in Digimon subreddit, and would appreciate any reviews on any podcast listening platforms that you use, and we'll read them out in the show. You can also donate to our Patreon with a link description from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to a listener Discord server, but there are higher levels with more rewards such as notes, early episodes, and more. And thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Joe, Anime Guy, who's Anime Guy Kurosaki1 on YouTube, Stephen Reeves, who's Wildwing64 on Archive Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who can follow on Tumblr at Chisai236, Kyle, Tom, Lismet, who's a Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Metal Maimon, Sam, Spiral, Keith from a computer podcast on the internet, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, and Lucas. And you can also make a one donation on a PayPal, which you found in the description. It's paypal.me/Edgemon. And you can also donate to me on my coffee account, ko-fi.com/Edra. And thanks for listening. And Stevie, Quinn, where can people find you besides the Moncast?
Quinn doesn't exist on the internet anymore.
It's true.
Quinn is invisible. She is Quinn-visible.
Yep, correct.
I think I made that joke last time, but I'm making it again.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Yeah, it's a good joke. It's a good joke, though.
But yeah, you can find the Moncast on most podcast platforms. We're on Twitter, Facebook, but we don't really use Facebook. YouTube.
Who does?
Yeah, correct.
Not even my mom
iTunes,
uses
Stitcher,
Facebook.
SoundCloud. No, not SoundCloud. Honestly, I'm just going to stop trying. Go to linktree.ee/themoncast and you'll find us on everything. There's too many links.
So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.